up into second if we could get Dodge and Hutch and Garden and Colby if we could win all four. But right now the focus is just getting that home court.
I think in our situation, hold and serve at home is, really important. We don't have any margin for error, but I'm not looking at it the way that maybe some people are looking at it. I'm looking at, hey, let's try to win one game at a time, and we can't control what other people do.
And it's like the energy vampire, sucking all the energy out the room. I don't want to be that guy, and I don't want my team to be that kind of a team. I do believe that we're like 1 or 2 plays away from being able to win. 6 games now that are basically one possession games.
Having those deeper conversations throughout the offseason on what do we want to attain. JJ laying out the formula, kind of going in with the org meetings and kind of giving us some things to talk about.
I would really enjoy the hitter's clock today. I don't know about only being able to throw the bases twice, but, I'm all for a fast game.
That is their second worst three-point shooting day of the season as the seconds tick off. It's a top 5 victory for the Hoosiers. 86-69 over the 4th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes.
Dadgummit. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. It's Friday. Yes, the weekend is here, and it is the Friday Sports Day show. Steve Webster with you, along with Mike Corson, Aaron Clark behind the papers. Mike Hesher is continuing his confusing day walking through the station trying to get the wrestling updates going. Hopefully he'll be back to give us an update in just a moment.
Kiss.
Hello, boys.
So when you yell like that before the show, everybody in the building assumes Clark or I messed something up.
I didn't yell before the show, did I?
You were reacting to the sounds, I think.
Oh.
I think.
Oh.
I hope.
I know that's what I assume.
Well, of course, fellas. Great to have you in here. We've got a good show today. Barton men's basketball coach Jeremy Combs will be back in studio talking about the second-ranked Cougars. Home matchup tomorrow night with Garden City, and we'll also ask him about a score last night. Down in Big Spring, Texas. You know what's in Big Spring, Texas? It used to be a big Halliburton place. I mean, they had a big Halliburton, cement, they had frack, they had acid treatments, bulk concrete. That's a big place. But it also is a home of Howard College and Dorothy Garrett Coliseum. And that's where South Plains, the number 1 ranked team in junior college basketball last night, got beat by Howard 76-69.
No.
South Plains now 26-1 on the year. Could Barton move into the number 1 slot in the country next week?
Well, and I said this morning that Barton lost its game early, been playing well. That team had been playing some close games, so sometimes you'll see this ranking shift based on what you've done lately. We hadn't seen that, but now they can't deny who the hot team is.
Well, each team has 1 loss, though.
Yeah, but they'll get punished for that. Barton wins out, now they'll go number 1 next week.
Okay, all they got to do is beat Garden City tomorrow. We'll talk to Jeremy Combs about that. And you know what coach is going to say? Those rankings don't mean anything.
But it's cool.
Bull, yeah, you can get number 1. That's what you want. You want to be number 1 at the end of the season. I understand that, but we're number 1.
It makes
win.
Puts a little bit more pressure on that matchup with Garden City. Got to make sure you can keep your momentum rolling.
That'd be a bad time to have a flat tire now. Okay. Sunflower Sports Solutions, Connor Nichols going to be on the program. You had to get a hold of Connor earlier. I was out, so Aaron Clark talked with Connor Nichols this morning. I feel kind of jealous, actually. So we'll get that interview coming up in just a moment.
I've never had a bad time talking to Connor Nichols. It's always fun to get to hear everything he knows, everything he's hearing, what he's seeing, what he's getting after.
A late addition to the show lineup today. David Feldbauer is in, and I'm glad because we were going to talk about bowling. Lady Panthers defending champs. They're going back to the state tournament. Okay, so we'll get more on that. Let's get to our sounds of the past 24 hours or so, since I know the timeline's been moved up somewhat.
About 5, yeah.
Kyle Cree just focused on the game tonight. I know he's just focused on the game. I'm focused on it's cool. The Hayes High Indians coming into town to take on the Great Bend the Western Athletic Conference champion Hayes High Indians coming into town to take on the Great Bend Panthers.
Still get the feeling Great Bend can beat just about anybody on the right night. Rather be able to watch that at home than have to worry about getting somewhere else.
Panthers can win. Yeah, they're going to get a sub-state. That's pretty cool. So good luck, Panthers, tonight. And Cindy Beck. Just expecting a slugfest, a dogfight. What other tussles can you think of? The 9th-ranked Great Bend Lady Panthers hosting the 10th-ranked Hayes High girls, the Western Athletic Conference champions.
Should be a pretty fun matchup on both sides.
A barn burner.
I was thinking, what's the baseball one they always throw out? I can't think of it.
Slugfest.
It'll come to me as soon as we move on.
A big match.
But
A big boy and a big girl game tonight.
Both of the Hayes teams already have that Hayes or the WAC champion locked up, but it's kind of fun to get to play spoiler at the end of a WAC champion season, especially if you can make it to where they don't get out of conference play undefeated.
Okay. 5:45 pregame with Aaron Clark. Make sure you put all your plugs in tonight, okay?
Gotta make sure.
Yeah.
Gonna have to be reading them early and often.
I got to see the pit crew work at Dodge City. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, gotta give him credit. Ryan's learned a little bit about how to set the broadcast equipment up.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's handy because you long arm Clarks, man. I mean, you could have more reach to look over a table when you can't really stand up, and then with those long arms, reach around the corner. So, I mean, that length really helps you guys out. 5:45 tonight. Okay. Western Athletic Conference last night, regular season coming to an end. On the boys' side, Dodge City beat Liberal 54-35. And on the girls' side, Liberal beat Dodge City 49-35. So if Great Bend wins tonight, they would have second place all to themselves, although I don't think anyone's really worried about that. Just beat Hayes High, who's 7-0 in league play. Other high school basketball action last night. 1A boys sub-state, the St. John sub-state. Hodgman County advances. They'll play La Crosse next Thursday. Hodgman beat Spearville 57-55. So Hodgman 13-8 taking on 17-2 La Crosse in St. John next Thursday. That'll be the 6 o'clock game. Central Plains will play Maxville in the 7:30 game next Thursday after Central Plains disposed of Kinsley last night 65-36, and it was Maxville beating St. John 52-44. Stafford sub-state. Otis Bison beating Stafford 53-44. If you go by the seeds, that was an upset. Victoria pulled away late to beat Chase 73-7, and Pawnee Heights over Tescott 63-51. 6 o'clock next Thursday in Stafford on the boys' side. St. John's Beloit, they're 12-7, taking on Otis Bison 6-15. Then Victoria 11-10 against Pawnee Heights, who's 4-17. That'll be the 7:30 game. Girls sub-states tonight. Okay, I don't have the 1A schedule with me. Where is it over here? Let's see. Girls, first round. Girls, no. Okay, I'll get it to you here coming up in just a little bit. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's right there. I had it in my hand. It was included. Okay, girls sub-states tonight. The St. John sub-state. Maxville 12-8 at 14-6 Hodgman County. Kinsley, a couple of good wins. They knocked off Central Plains, knocked off La Crosse. They're 8-12. They play at Spearville tonight, who's 16-4. Then La Crosse plays at Central Plains tonight. A battle between 11-8 La Crosse, 14-6 Central Plains. The Stafford sub-state tonight, 5-11 Tescott against 7-13 Otis Bison. That game is in Otis tonight. Chase, still looking for their first win of the year. They play at 9-12 Pawnee Heights, and 2-17 Stafford at 8-12 Victoria. Allen Clark talking about their game tomorrow night with Garden City. They'll play, it's an afternoon game, 1:45, 2 o'clock tip, and Lady Cougars have had 4 games left, have 4 games on the schedule. Allen Clark Saints, simple goal, finish in the top 4. We mentioned South Plains going down last night to Howard, 76-69. Bill Self just says just win every game. Don't worry about winning the Big 12 right now. They host Texas tomorrow, 5 o'clock on ESPN. Houston on top of the Big 12, 10-3. Iowa State's 9-4. Kansas, Baylor, Texas Tech, all are 8-5. KU needs some help if they want to get a piece of the Big 12 title. But again, Bill Self, just win one game at a time. You can't worry about if you're going to get any help or not. Jerome Tang talking about the positive attitude that he has had, even though the Cats have lost some close games. He says he doesn't want to be the energy vampire. Wasn't the energy vampire of ours in here just a minute ago?
Hey, for a brief second.
Okay.
Oh, what?
Okay.
Took it right out of me.
No. I hope he comes back.
We just had too much. We had too much positive energy for him. We had to get out of here.
Okay, well, hopefully he's got a wrestling update for us. Jerome Tang's Cats, do or die. They need a win. They'll host BYU on Saturday, tomorrow, 1 o'clock at Bramlage Coliseum. Aaron Clark's favorite guy, Matt Quatrero.
The Royals' favorite guy.
Yeah, he's throwing out bouquets to his general manager, J.J. Piccolo. Going to grow off that together. Everything coming together for the Royals.
Management here also does a fantastic job.
Just want to throw that in. Greg Maddux, Baseball Hall of Famer. What does he think of the pitch clock? Says, yeah, I'm all in favor of quick games. And the call last night on B97 FM, 14th ranked Indiana beats 4th ranked Iowa 86-69. Caitlin Clark. I think she had 24 points, or did she have that many? She was 3 of 16 from three-point land, 8 of 26 from the field. Indiana defense, tough last night.
I think Indiana's had their number. But yeah, I think she said, what were they, guarding her all over? It's like, yeah, how does nobody else know that you're going to chuck up 16 three-pointers in a game and make half of them, usually?
Well, sorry about that. Heading into a weekend, I know you were looking for a positive weekend and everything. Now you're going to be
Tourney's coming up.
Debbie Downer now.
When it counts.
Okay, we will hear from David Feldbauer coming up. Great Bend Bowling. Give us a late rundown on Panther Bowling. Lady Panthers heading back to state. Boys, did boys qualify anybody individually?
No, 3 kids missed by 12 pins or fewer.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Maybe we can get another bowling pin. What are we going to do if we get another bowling pin?
I believe, yeah, that he knows that we want a bowling pin. So they got 3rd place, but brand new ball game anytime you go into state, different lanes. So throw out this 3rd place finish and bring home the 1st.
Are you a bowler?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't just.
But I'm a straight bowler.
Once every. Oh yeah, I don't
House
do that.
ball.
Any of that other stuff. Yeah, and I've got the rented shoes and things like that. But the different waxes that they put down, I worry when I hear waxes because they don't extend that all the way down the lane, do they, to where you're throwing the ball? Because I'd hate to go up there.
Yeah, different oil patterns and
patterns.
I suppose
oil
the difference is who picks up on it early and makes the adjustments, just like any other sport.
Can you get inside and get some intel on the oil composition? Or
I think they tell them the basic pattern, whether it's
really
sport or dry. But yeah, I think they do have a heads up of kind of what to expect.
Okay, one. I was gonna here. Okay, I called down the hall. I just wanted to see if you had an update on what's going on with wrestling.
I thought there was a special Hesh call.
You got wrestling? Anything as far as the numbers?
I've got a couple. I can see Tristan Tomlinson. He's going to be securing at least 6th place, as is Caden Hoffman. I believe. Let me move down a little bit here, bringing your report in real time. Trenton Curran also in that boat. He's going to be wrestling potentially for. If he wins his next match, he'll be going for 3rd. If he loses his next match, he'll be wrestling for 5th after that. A similar case for a Jay Sharts, I believe. Yep, there he is. So if Jay Sharts wins, he'll be wrestling for 3rd. Loses, he'll be going for 5th. The best Panther result so far, I know, is Cooper Lyles, 150 pounds. He's actually made his way into the championship match at 150 pounds at 5A.
And we'll go back to 157. That was the same matchup. The kid from Hutch was formerly ranked number 1. Jace beat him ultimate tiebreak at regionals. they go sudden victory this time in the state semifinals, and Smith comes out on top.
So where we at? Does any Panther still have a shot at the state title right now?
Cooper Lyles.
Okay, right.
He is at 150, and Great Bend's at 6th overall in the team
So Cooper's
standings.
into the state championship match?
Yes.
Okay.
Cooper's next match will be for the state title at 150 pounds.
Wow, big time stuff. for
That'll be
Cooper.
coming tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks like Goddard's going to run away with the team title, but Great Bend's sitting 6th, but you got about 3-point separation, so pick up some points on the backside. Could hopefully move into at least a 3rd spot.
Okay. Very good, boys. All right, Jeremy Combs is going to join us. Also, Connor Nichols on the program. David Feldbauer, jam-packed sports day here on a Friday on KVGB.
Join Barton Community College in the eccentric adventure Caractacus Pots for an unforgettable adventure filled with flying cars, family fun, and laughter. Barton Theater presents Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Experience the magic of this timeless musical brought to life on stage, with multiple showings starting February 29th and running through March 3rd. Bring the whole family and let your imagination soar. For more information, visit shows.bartonccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
It's time to talk Barton Cougar basketball with the head coach, Jeremy Combs, on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Jeremy Combs joining us here for Sports Day, brought to you in part by Advanced Therapy and Sports Medicine. Get your life back. The Barton Cougar Booster Club continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. Also, by Equity Bank, your hometown sports partner. Visit one of our 5 local area banks in Great Bend, Larned, Maxville, and St. John. EquityBank.com. Head coach Jeremy Combs joins us right now. Jeremy, have you ever been to Big Spring, Texas?
I have not.
I had to go down and pick up a truck when I was working for Halliburton. It was my oil field sabbatical from school, before I went back and finished up. And I didn't know South Plains was there. So it was not South Plains, Howard College.
Howard, yeah. I believe, and I don't know this, I need to ask him, but my father-in-law over in Pretty Prairie, I think at one time he was either in Big Springs, he lived there for a while,
yeah.
He was in the oil stuff, or it was Odessa, and I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, so, and then kind of another thing, Lauren Miller, who coached for Barton, he went down there, and he coached there for a year or two.
He coached at Howard?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, last night at the Dorothy Garrett Coliseum, Howard comes away with a 76-69 win.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this because I think it's really, really cool to have an opportunity to be ranked number 1 in the country. You want to be ranked let me give you the coach stuff, okay? You want to be ranked number 1 at the end of the year, you want to take home, you want to win the national title, but you got an opportunity, another little carrot out there on a stick for your team right now.
Yeah, no, it's a neat deal to have, but I'm sure that you knew I'd say this, but at the end of the day, we've got to take care of us and be focused on us, and those rankings are great. They're amazing for the community, they're amazing for the college, for the program, things like that, but it's kind of like we tell these kids all the time when they're being recruited, like you still have to play well so that you can get recruited. I know they'll keep talking to you and all that kind of stuff, but if you don't perform, they'll get away from you. So we still have to be focused on the task at hand and be, locked in, and like we've been talking about all year, and keep our edge and stay on edge and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, see, again, you bring up the unique situation about junior college basketball, right? Because it's you know, I mean, guys, people are recruiting your guys, especially when you have a really good team like this. So how do you keep your guys with their eye on the prize of this year without thinking of the next year and things like that?
Yeah, and we're going through that right now. You know, the calls are really coming in. It's not just putting pressure on, not pressure, I shouldn't say pressure, but taking time for us as well as coaches, taking the calls and talking to the coaches and getting them the transcripts and all the things that they need. But, you know, of course, they're reaching out to the kids, and it's changed a lot. You know, it used to be you could say, well, you know, we're not going to talk, you know, he's not going to talk yet until he's ready to go and, you know, towards the end of the season, whatever it may be. But nowadays they're reaching out on social media, and they can get to these kids pretty easily. So, you know, Leger's getting a lot of calls every day, and we've just kind of told him, like, hey, maybe you put your phone away on game day, you know, so that you can focus. You know, because a lot of times those coaches, they'll still reach out to you even though it's game day. You know, so we talk to them a lot and just try to do different things to help them out.
Yeah, that's different, you know, because, yeah, they used to not just be able to pick up the phone and text them, say, hey, good game last night if you're the coach or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, and then trying to get a hold of them and get their phone number and, you know, find the pay phone in the dorm or whatever that they were using.
Yep. Well, and I was in the recruiting days where, you know, you only had the NCAA limited you to how many times you could talk to them a week.
Really?
Know, or how long. Yeah, there were limits on that. And I think part of that, too, was, you know, back in the day, kids didn't have unlimited minutes and things like that. So they didn't want to run up phone bills and stuff like that. So I think that was part of it. But then, you know, then it went to unlimited. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, it used to be, halftimes used to be so much fun. And when Jackie was playing, I mean, Billy Tubbs was there like 6 or 7 times, and, you know, you'd see him. Then you see Bob Knight down there.
Yep.
Okay, Roy Williams over there in the Cougars den watching the ball game, you know. And, yeah, Billy Tubbs was, well, when do you want me there? You know, he was really cool. But, yeah, it was halftime. You had your pick of the litter.
Yeah, and so they basically now, you know, they get to watch it online a lot, you know, and they'll come to a lot of practices and things like that. But, yeah, it's crazy how much access they have to these kids now.
So if you've got a kid that's 6'5", 6'6", excellent scorer all over, especially when he goes to, you know, but the D1s, you know, they want him playing out on the perimeter a little bit more when he affects your team more positively by getting him down low in the blocks. That's tough sometimes. Have you ever had that or anything like that?
No, they try to move guys around the positions, and sometimes, you know, we'll have maybe a guard that's not quite as big that they're going to try. Well, we want to move him over to the point guard, and we want him to be a point guard for us because he scores it really well. But we're going to move him over there, you know, and like you said with the inside stuff as well. You know, so that's something that these kids have to look at when they're being recruited. Where do I want to do that? Do I want to make that move? You know, do I feel like I can do that, or do I want to, you know, maybe stay at this level but play this position that I'm playing currently that I know best?
Okay. All right, here we go. Garden City coming in to start Garden City run, and then you've got a road game at Dodge, and then you're home at Hutch, and then you close it out with, I guess that game's been moved to Tuesday now with Colby? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I think they're hosting State or something, and so they've had some gym issues and things like that. So, yeah, so it's going to Tuesday, which it's good for us, gets our legs back under us, but it's good for them too because I think they're at Coffeyville on Saturday, so they've got that long trip down there and then back, and so that'll give them a little bit of time too. But no, I think it's good.
Okay, on the post game with Cole down at Coffeyville after the game on Saturday, I mean, you said it, okay, you know, you always got to keep your edge. So I've been waiting all week, you know. So what is an edge to you, and how do you keep it, or how do you lose it?
The edge is, there's so many different things how you could describe the edge, and we talk about it all the time. You know, I even texted the guys last night, and I said, well, it looks like the number 1 team in the country got beat, so if you're not on edge right now, then you should be. The edge is, we all my players talk about it, like former players and everybody, because I've been talking about that for a long time, but the edge is just like being ready at all times. Like, it could be during the game, it could be before the game. Like, I'm not on edge right now.
Right.
But if we were going into a game, I'd make sure I was getting on edge. So that's the thing that we talk about, whether it's on defense, offense. You know, and sometimes you'll see me guys will get pulled out of the game and maybe they weren't on edge defensively, they got backdoored or whatever it was. But it's just that toughness about you. There's just so many things you could use to describe it, and but we use that word a lot.
Okay, I'm going to use an athletic because I don't have an athletic comparison for many, many years that I could use. But say if I go on vacation, right? So, you know, I've been around for like 10 or 11 days. You come back to the studio and you think, well, wait a second. All that stuff that I did automatically, but I haven't done it in a little bit. So it's like, okay, so you're Wednesday, Saturday, all of a sudden you go from, it doesn't seem like much, but all of a sudden, you know, then you're back in there and it's competition time again.
And edge is part of a routine too.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, these buys throw that routine off. And so we tried to, really this week, we tried to kind of keep it as normal as possible. We practiced hard on Monday, like we would normally do. Tuesday, we kind of took off a little bit. Wednesday, everybody else was playing, so a lot of the stuff that we did was live stuff in practice. It was getting up and down, things like that. Yesterday, we practiced hard just because, again, we would if we would have played. And we just try to keep it as normal as possible. So today we'll go in, we'll do our film. So it's the same Friday that we normally have, you know, getting ready for Saturday.
You get at this time of the year, I'll just use the term special teams, you know, inbounds plays, things like that, late game situations. How often do you get to work on those?
We actually did that this week a lot, you know, last second stuff. And it was funny, you know, one of the guys said, well, we haven't had to use this last second play, Coach. And I said, I know, but we've got to be, you know, you got to be ready. You got to practice those things. And, you know, you never know when you're going to need it. We may need it on Saturday. This is a really, really good Garden City team coming in here. They're super talented. It might be maybe not as deep as some of the other teams, but they're top 5, 6 guys are really, really good.
And that's a good point that you bring up. Some teams that get in there and, man, you go through a stretch of a bunch of close games, man, you're unloading your bank of inbounds plays, things like that. It's kind of nice to have those and you're still in your back pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, but you know, that's part of the edge, man. It's that being ready.
Part of the edge. Yeah. Tomorrow afternoon should be fun out at Garden City, and as you said, they're a good team coming in here. I know Cole was very impressed with him when you played him out in Garden. You got the win, but it was a pretty good ball game.
Yeah, they've got all the pieces. You know, they've got a really good point guard. They got a wing that can really score it. They got some big small forwards that can shoot it and get to the basket, and then they got a post player that's just really, really good. He's a man, and so he's good. But then they bring a couple guards off the bench that are really talented as well. So, you know, we're going to have to play a great game. We're going to have to defend, and two of those guards that they have, the point guard and the wing, I think they're second and third in scoring in the conference. So they can score it in bunches. So we'll have to do a really good job defending.
Big one tomorrow, big one tonight.
Big one tonight.
Talk about some teams on edge.
Yeah,
I mean,
big one
Hayes
tonight.
High's in town tonight.
Yeah.
How do you see that boys game?
It's going to be a great game. I mean, you know, the thing about Hayes is they've got the 2 JUCO assistants sitting on the bench, and man, they defend really, really well. They're physical. Zollinger's over there, and that's his typical team. That was his sewer teams through the years, man. Physical, they're going to beat you up. So he does a great job with that, but I'm guessing we'll be ready this time. You know, I think Carter said that the team's locked in and ready to go. Being senior night is going to be big, and I think the crowd will be huge, and it'll be a good one.
Yeah, it's a heck of a way to end the regular season.
Yeah,
a lot on
big
the
time.
line for the Panther boys, too.
Yeah, big time.
Jeremy, thanks so much, and good luck tomorrow, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, thank you.
Okay, all right. Jeremy Combs with us here on Sports Day. Connor Nickel coming up next with Aaron Clark here on the program. It's brought to you in part by Next Tech Wireless, built by Kansans for Kansas. And Eller Automotive Repair, a local mechanic can help behind Great Bend Appliance Furniture and Sleep Source.
Extend the life of your equipment with Cenex Premium Greases. Engineered with quality-based oils and well-balanced formulas to protect equipment in a wide range of temperatures and tough conditions. The Cenex line of grease products offer excellent rust protection, water resistance, and anti-wear properties to extend equipment life. Cenex Grease delivers the dependability you need to keep your operation running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
Hi, my name is Dalton Jones, a patient that I helped. She came in with chronic back pain that she'd been having for years. After several weeks of showing her exercises, several different interventions, we were able to get her back to where she can do her shopping without leaning on the shopping cart at all.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Ryan, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
It's Friday, and that means game day in the Golden Belt. To help us prime the pump, Sports Day brings you Sunflower Sports Solutions, Connor Nickel.
Welcome back into 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM for Sports Day. It's Aaron Clark, now joined by Sunflower Sports Solutions, Connor Nickel. Connor, so glad to have you on the program with me on an action-packed Friday.
Of course, Aaron. Hey, I really appreciate it.
So we're just going to go ahead and dive right into it. A matchup that I've been kind of curious to get your opinion on for a little while. Hayes versus Great Bend. I'm very interested to hear about what you have to think on both sides. You want to start with the Lady Panthers matchup with Hayes or on the boys' side?
Yeah, certainly. On the girls' side, spent a lot of time around the Hayes High program the last 5 or 7 days, and they have since the Colby tournament, which they walked out of the Colby tournament with 2 losses in 3 games, and really did not play very well. They have not lost since. They've beaten Great Bend, they've beaten McPherson, which was a huge signature win for their program. They've just really elevated their play across the board. Kinley Winter, a girl not known for scoring, has played outstanding on defense. Zoe Winter has stepped up in the post. He's kind of figured out his rotation off the bench more. And obviously, Great Bend has had a really impressive season too. This is Hayes High won the WAC titles, boys and girls side. First time both genders have won WAC in the same basketball year. So kind of a neat achievement there. Both Hayes High teams are playing really, really well. But this game is super important for a 5A West seeding and just kind of feeling good about yourselves entering sub-state. Obviously, I think that Great Bend has had a really nice year, but it's going to be a matter of can Hayes High's defense, which is now top 30 in the state, all classes, by some of the advanced stats that factor in opponent and some of those things. Can Hayes High's defense slow down the Great Bend offense than that they slowed down earlier this season?
And talking about that Great Bend offense, it's been fun watching it come along lately because some of the other scoring options outside of Sadie Spray have been really stepping up. Kenzie Premer coming off of a 14-point game. Emily Hall coming off of a 15-point outing against Dodge City. Both of those ladies have really been stepping up on the scoring column. But I'm interested to see your takeaway on the recent kind of explosion from the Great Bend Panther offense.
Yeah. They've been, I think, more and more efficient shooting the ball as of late, too. But yeah, you're exactly right. They were stuck in the mid 40s there for a while, and they've certainly shot it well. I've been really impressed with Hall, and it sounds simple, but for so many teams, it's generally speaking 2-point shots. There is a greater variance on 2-point makes than there is sometimes on 3-point makes, especially when you're dealing with above-average teams. And I think that Great Bend the last several weeks has shot it better. I know when I've seen Great Bend play, I've been really pleased and with how well they have shot it inside the arc, not just Spray. But yeah, you're exactly right. A lot of coaches really like Hall. A lot of people will consider her the second option. But in Great Bend for a while, it was Hall and Spray scoring a lot of points, and then Kenzie was third at like 4 points a game. So if Great Bend can get a third, fourth good option scoring, I think that's gonna really help out a lot.
And so turning it on over to the boys' side now, a matchup with a lot of hype around it. Two squads that met earlier this year. A lot of just history between the Great Bend boys and the Hayes boys the past couple years. They met up 3 times last year. The Panthers' last 2 games on the season were actually the defeats to Hayes to end the year. What are you hoping to see in this boys' matchup between Great Bend and Hayes?
Yeah, obviously, Hayes High has won WAC, but what I'm hoping to see is just how will Great Bend respond? Great Bend can get a lot of mo going into the postseason with a win here. Obviously, Great Bend's had a really good season, but as I mentioned a few weeks ago, Great Bend has not swept Hayes High, I think, since 2008. Obviously, that won't happen this year. But, beating Hayes High has not happened a whole lot for Great Bend. Great Bend's won 5 straight. The Panthers are playing a lot better. You look at Dodge City to truck them by 30-plus points, Garden City to come back and beat them by 25. They've put up 63 points a game or more in the last 5. And again, the offense for Great Bend's always there. Hayes High is consistently, I wrote about this last week, holding teams to at least 10 points under their season scoring. And so they obviously Hayes High did that. In the first meeting, I think Hayes High has really emphasized post touches. Dawson Reuter, the big guy inside, has been outstanding. But if you see this from Great Bend, Great Bend's lost three straight to Hayes, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they're 1-8 in the last 9. So a win for Great Bend over Hayes makes them feel really good, but also helps out seeding a lot too.
And looking at some of the scoring numbers for Great Bend, you mentioned that Hayes defense has really been kind of limiting teams. Ian Premer is just coming off of a monster game. 25 points is a pretty good output. He's been kind of averaging that number the past almost 10 games now. But he also put up 20 rebounds, a 25-point, 20-board, double-double for Premer against Dodge City. He's just been electric this season. Give me some of your takeaways on Ian.
Yeah, I mean, he is an elite player as a sophomore. People were really impressed when I got to see Great Bend earlier this year on just Premer's dunks, his ability to do things that other players can't do. And just speaking just on Premer, if Great Bend were to say lose their next 2 games, he's probably an all-state honorable mention selection. But if Great Bend, maybe beats Hayes High and certainly qualifies for state in some form, now you're looking at Premer as a top 5 player in 5A. And obviously we focus more on the team, but Premer's star rises greater the better that Great Bend plays across the state. And I know I've had some people ask me this year, well, how would Premer match up against players A, B, and C? And I said, he's definitely in the conversation. The players on some of those teams are 20-0 or 19-1 or things like that. I believe that Premer could be a first-team All-State player, but the next 10 days will kind of really show a lot.
I've really been curious on what his odds might be of getting some of those postseason medals. Not just him, but some of the other Panthers too. Someone like Sadie Spray on the girls' side is having an incredible year. But with Ian in particular, I just wasn't sure how much that team's success would play in. Glad to hear you kind of give some thought into that. We could spend a while talking about basketball. There's a lot going on, but also some state wrestling as I'm joined on the program by Sunflower Sports Solutions' Connor Nickel. Connor, what have you been seeing so far at the state wrestling tournaments?
Well, I want to mention Hoisington first and foremost. I was at a Hoisington basketball game in mid-January, and I mentioned on the show that Josiah Ball had gotten hurt. I saw Josiah Ball that night, and he was, on crutches or certainly not walking very well at all, definitely hurt. And, the Balls obviously have had so much success, and you want to see all these kids do well and not get hurt, and it just kind of really stunk to see that. And I know there was maybe some thought, and how much is he going to be able to wrestle the rest of the year? Well, obviously he's 21-1. He's come back. He's been dominant in his first 2 matches. Wins by 33 seconds and by under a very short time. Both by pins. I think overall, totally, he's been on the mat for 83 seconds in 2 matches, which is just really, really good. So they've been, Terran Kraft, obviously, he had a tough matchup with Aiden Namrine. Namrine just set a state record for pins, and so, Worthington so far is doing well, but it'd be nice to see Josiah Ball, after getting hurt this year, finish strongly. And, of course, Fisher, for the Indians, he's 44-0, 215. Eli Franklin, who he beat in the first period fall in the quarterfinals, is an outstanding wrestler. I mean, Franklin was an all-state pick and on the line for Smith Center. He cleared 100 career wins earlier this year, and for Fisher to win that in such a dominant fashion, I think sets him up really, really well.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Fisher plays tailback for the Larned football team, does he not? How often do you see a 215-pound tailback that can put the toe in the turf like he can and then come and dominate on the wrestling mat, too? Yeah, exactly right. Fisher has had a great season. And obviously, Larned the last, 4 to 6 years has been a lot better on the mat. They've had a state champion, and hopefully Fisher can add to that and obviously finish with a perfect record, 46-0 if he were to finish that. I don't have all of the Larned stats in front of me, but I believe that might be the best record in the history of the school. I would have to check on that, but it's certainly going to be really high. Regardless, 46-0 season from Luke Fisher, going to be impressive anyway. We started off talking wrestling on the Hoisington Cardinal boys side with Josiah Ball, but a couple of Hoisington Cardinal ladies having some quality state tournaments as well. Deja Jones and Lyrica Roscoe in the semifinals today.
Yeah, Jones I think has a great shot at 130 to make a final. She's done really well. To be as dominant as she is a first period fall and then winning 18-7, she'll actually be favored in her semifinal match. Now she'll have to very, very likely face Amanda Jager from Colby in the championship. Amanda Jager won state last year and is 41-0 this year. But I think Jones has got a great shot to get to a final. And, then Roscoe too has got a really good shot to make the final. Jada Ney, who is the consensus favorite in her class, again at 145. Ney is 38-0 this season. Ney has won in 18 seconds and in 45 seconds. Ney's on the other half. She'll be favored in her semi. But yeah, Orozco, that first match was going to be kind of difficult. It was going to be a challenging opponent. For her to win 5-3, I think was really good. She'll have Haley Crossland, who's 37-1, and Crossland's had a tremendous career. Crossland is really, really good. But Orozco is going to be guaranteed to place, and both of those girls have really done well so far at state.
So you had some boots on the ground at the state tournaments, Connor?
I've been to every girls' state tournament in the last several years. They even go back to McPherson. I'm not there this year. Kind of the whole 3-day thing is playing havoc with some of my scheduling. But normally I am there. Yes.
It's been a fun tournament so far. Just any other impressions? Just. On the state wrestling tournament so far, maybe not even just the local wrestlers, just want to hear anything stood out to you so far.
Yeah, I think one thing that's been really cool is the rise of the of Oakley girls has been really great to watch. When you look at what they have done, they were 15th last year. They're in great shot to win a state title this year. The other thing is, too, is that Rossville has 3 great wrestlers, and one of the biggest upsets this year, maybe boys and girls combined, was the Rossville girl taking a loss did want to hit on real briefly what's going on in 5 and 6A girls. You've got obviously Topeka, Washburn Rural in first, but then Garden City Dodge are 2 and 3, Great Bend's in fifth. Hayes High's a bit lower, but yeah, really impressive for the WAC. We expected multiple WAC schools to be in the top 10, certainly in the top 5 even too. I thought that Camden Post for Great Bend has looked really good early on. Gomez obviously is very, very well known. She's been dominant. Gomez has got a great shot to win a state title. And then obviously Kira Stevens suffered a first period fall at 170 to Steen from Bonner, and Steen honestly might be the best wrestler in Kansas. And so back-to-back state championships for Steen. So overall, a very solid showing for Great Bend.
Connor, always a super fun time getting to talk to you. Incredibly insightful, too. Thanks for joining the show today.
Hey, certainly, Aaron. Thanks so much.
That is Sunflower Sports Solutions' Connor Nickel here on Sports Day. We'll have more heading your way on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
From the
right after
Money
this.
Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Want to graduate a little sooner? Take online courses with Barton Online and transfer seamlessly to your university of choice without all the hassle. We have 6-week and 8-week sessions starting in February and March. Save tons of time and money and get ahead by taking courses at Barton and transferring your credits. Now enrolling for both sessions. Get started at online.bartoncccc.edu.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Amy Herrera, Regional Retail Manager for your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many people navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you how we're committed to serving you in our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Horson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Horson joined today by Panther bowling coach David Feldbauer. Coach, obviously, as the reigning champions in Class 5A, the girls wanted to get back to state. Able to do that yesterday in Hutchinson.
Yes, we were. It was a tough day, but we were able to make it happen. I mean, we took 3rd place, so we are able to go to state, which is great. It was just a very difficult shot yesterday.
Yeah, and so 3rd place, it was the top 3 going, and you guys bowled the series and then the several Baker games. Ever any doubt that, hey, man, the girls have to step up right now, or was it pretty secure the whole way?
Actually, we had to step up the middle game and the last game in the regular 10-pin series. The girls stepped up, bowled over 700 both times to increase our lead. That first game we struggled a little bit, only shot like 660. So we had to step it up and start bowling in the last 2 games.
Just how exciting for the girls to know that they get to go back in. Anything can happen at state.
Oh, yeah. State's going to be total different. One thing that we struggle on is not having fresh oil. And in regionals, they don't re-oil between boys and girls. So when we go to state, we'll have fresh oil, good lanes to bowl on. It's going to be a total different setup, and we're going to be able to bowl a lot better and a lot more consistent at state. So it'll be a little tougher with the competition that's coming in, but I think our girls have a really good chance of pulling out another victory.
Talking to Panther bowling coach David Feldbauer. Yeah, some of the usuals. Kaylin Wallmeyer leads the way, 5th place overall. sophomore Zoe Mayberry went to state last year. I think she bowled really well. She was 10th overall, but and senior Emily Nelson was 12th overall. But freshman in there, Brooklyn Mayberry, bowled pretty well, 15th place finish. How big for her to step up on that big stage?
Really, actually, I was very impressed with Brooklyn, especially with the lane conditions. And she throws the ball not as fast as some of the other girls, so with how dry everything was yesterday, she was able to throw some good games in there. Shot like a 193, I think, and then another 160 game just to help the girls get that third-place victory.
Over on the boys' side, really tough place finish. Not the most expectations to qualify as a top 3 team, but there were still plenty of individual opportunities. Man, you had 3 kids that came up 12 pins or less short of state. Is that frustrating or positive?
It's actually really positive. I mean, this is our first year with the boys going to regionals. None of them have ever bowled in Hutch or on a sport shot at regionals, so it was actually really good to see them step up and shoot in the 500s and almost make it. I mean, we were close. Quentin Miller just lost a little bit of touch in the last game and just missed out. And then Josh, in his first game, struggled a little bit, but then came back with 2 really strong games in the second and third game, just to show that, you know, the young kids are improving, they are getting better, and in the future, I think once they hit seniors and they have a couple more years' experience, I think they're going to be able to perform well and be able to move on and go to state.
Yeah, so Quentin Miller, he's a junior, starts off with games of 187 and 223. Based off of kind of what you're seeing, he's probably going to state, slips to 149 and misses state by 7 pins. Did he have any cognition of that as he was bowling that final game?
I think that might have got a little bit into his head because he definitely lost focus, was starting pulling the ball, didn't quite stay as consistent as he was the first 2 games throwing. I think he started watching his score a little too much. But other than that, I mean, they definitely were showing some improvement, so it was good to see.
Talking to Panther bowling coach David Feldbauer. And then the 2 sophomores go 20 and 21st, but they both finished with a 547. Josh Manning starts 188, 222, and he had a 137 in there that cost him, but bowled really well the last 3 weeks of the season in particular.
Yeah, Josh has definitely stepped up, became one of the stronger bowlers in the Great Bend system. I think with another year experience and a little bit more strength building, I think he'll be right up there with some of the top bowlers in the next couple of years. Just needs to get a little, weight training in.
And so we'll talk more about the girls next week as we get state results, so we'll focus on the boys. One more question here. Just one senior on that team, bowled pretty well without a whole lot of varsity or no varsity experience this year. Just how did this strong finish to the season kind of set them up for next year?
Actually, I think this strong finish and then is going to set them up really well. A lot of them have already committed to start bowling some summer leagues, so that's going to help out a lot. The boys just gotta bowl a little bit more, and I think they'll be right there next year to go into state.
Lady Panthers bowl at the 5A state championships in Wichita on Friday. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
More sports day after this.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
We get it. Life is busy. It's a constant rush from work to home to sports practice and still trying to have quality time with your family. The latest technology from Nextech Wireless can help keep you connected and organized. Right now, when you get a new phone, you can get an Apple Watch or tablet on us. Stop by a store near you and visit with one of our wireless experts today. Nextech Wireless. Home on the range.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Okay, wrapping up Sports Day on a Friday. Aaron Clark, Mike Corson, some wrestling updates.
Deja Jones from Hoisington was in the semifinals, 3-2-1A 130, but got a really tough draw against a freshman from Halstead who's unbeaten. It's 18-8 at the moment.
A little closer to home there. A couple of great Ben wrestlers going to be wrestling in this championship. Daisy Gomez. She's made her way back to the state championship, and she actually won't be facing off with Dodge City's De La Rosa as she lost in the semifinals. Daisy going to be looking to snag that state championship along with Cooper Lyles. Cooper at 150 pounds on the boys' side. So potentially 2 Panthers could come away with it. Still waiting to see if guys like Josiah Ball and Luke Fisher can punch their way to state championships when the 3-2-1A boys' side starts a little bit later this afternoon at 2 o'clock. But a couple other Panthers are still alive on the consolation side. I believe Trenton Kern finds himself in a place wrestling for potentially a 6th place or 3rd place spot, as does Jay Sharts.
Yeah, and back to Daisy Gomez. They've been number 2 and 3 most of the season behind, I believe it was Washburn Rural. Didn't see her, so I don't know how early she got bounced. But Daisy pinned her semifinal opponent in 40 seconds. De La Rosa got pinned in the other side. So the girl Daisy will see from Spring Hill is unranked. So like that matchup a lot.
Not as favorable for Cooper Lyles on the boys' side. He's going up against the number 1 ranked wrestler in his class, Goodwin from Goddard. However, also on the girls' side, Camden Post. She lost in that semifinal round. She's moved over onto the consolation side.
And the boys were,
6th place finish.
sitting in 6th, and I said, like, if Cooper Lyles can get that win, those could be big points, and picking up some of those backside points. Still some room, hopefully, to move up. 4th was a little bit of a stretch, but maybe.
And you talked about 6th place. Only 9 points separates Great Plain from 3rd between 6th place, so still a lot of opportunity to jump that gap.
Larned heavyweight.
Luke Fisher, he'll be wrestling up in this afternoon's start-up. 3-2-1-8 goes starting at 2 o'clock.
Okay, for the championship round.
Yes, he'll be wrestling in the championship along with Josiah Ball.
Ooh. Oh, that's okay. That's all right. So Josiah's going today as well.
Yes.
So, all right. So good luck to those guys.
Semifinals there.
Yep. Mike Hesher. Oh, those are semis.
Those are the semis.
Okay, Roger. Okay. No wonder Hesh is walking around with that confused look on his face. Man, God bless you, Hesh.
Agriculture Today on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM is brought to you by the American Plains Co-op, your local grain, feed, energy, seed, agronomy, and retail co-op with a rich history of tradition within our communities.
This is Agriculture Today, and I'm Shelby Varner with the K-State Radio Network. K-State grain economist Dan O'Brien kicks off today's show with this week's grain market outlook. He recaps a few key points from the Ag Outlook Conference that are valuable to Kansas crop growers. Continuing the show is a keynote speaker from the Women Managing the Farm Conference, Kim Brimmer. Kim talks about the importance of people in agriculture consistently sharing their story with others. Chip Redmond, K-State meteorologist, rounds out the show with a weather update. He says how Kansans should be expecting continued increased wildfire risk. That and more is coming up ahead on Agriculture Today.